If you're in between shades with your foundation, you've just come back from holiday, you've been fake tanning, I don't know, you're just in between and you're not sure, do you buy the next foundation shade up or not? Here, I'm going to show you how to upshade your current foundation color. So all I'm going to do is just get ready as I normally would, and that is moisturizing, priming the skin with our 2-in-1. Love that. Any multi-purpose products. Now, doesn't matter what foundation. If you're in between shades, this is for you, especially if you don't want to add another color or another product to your makeup bag. So I'm going to use our liquid foundation in light to medium. It's not too light for me at the moment, but it's probably borderline, and that's maybe where you're at. So I'm just using the stippling brush to apply this. I love how the Adorn foundations still give you a little bit of that coverage on the dark circles, especially if you've got light circles. They're not as dark as maybe mine. You can see the foundation's enough to give that coverage. Go light when you put your foundation around your eyes though, because the skin is a lot thinner and it will be inclined to gravitate towards all of those beautiful lifelines that you might have. So just go on the lighter side of it, but definitely put some on there as it minimizes the need for concealer. Now I'm going to do the other side, and I'm just going to show you what one side looks like if I'm just to put foundation on versus what I would call upshading and giving that extra dimension as a bonus. Makeup tip when you're using liquid foundations or BBs, I like to pop it on the back of my hand and use the stippling brush to get it nice and even on the brush. It means then it goes onto the skin nice and evenly, and I'm not just putting one big blob on the face and then having to try and spread that. You'll find that the makeup's always going to be heavier where you've applied it. So get it evenly on the brush. It's going to spread more evenly and look more seamless once you've finished. Yes. Your neck is lighter than your chest and you're exposing your chest area, then definitely pop some foundation down your neck as well, just so it brings everything in together. Makeup and skincare is nipples up. So your foundation needs to address any color differences between the chest, neck, or the face. Okay, so not doing any other makeup, I'm just going to show you what the difference is if I was to upshade versus not. This particular liquid foundation in light to medium is a really beautiful color. It's a fairly universal shade that a lot of people can use, but what I'm finding for me is I could probably leave it like this, put a bit of concealer and I'd be good to go. But if I'm wanting to just upshade to bring it into line with maybe the tan I've got on my body, then this is the tip. Now you can do it with a darker foundation color. You could do it with a cream contour product. You could do it with a bronzer, anything that's a shade or two darker than your foundation. Okay, again, as I said, you might have a sample of a darker foundation. Here's the time to use it. But I'm going to show you how to do this with the Contour Compact. Okay, so the Contour Compacts come in the refillable mirrored compact you see here. Okay, and I'm going to use, now if you've got a small sort of face, you might want to use the angle brush, this one that comes in the 15-piece brush kit, so you could just sort of do this. Or if you've got a larger face and you want to get things done a lot quicker, then use one of the larger brushes. Now I'm going to use this one, and basically I'm going to be tracing the letter 3 on my face, okay? So no matter what face shape you are, you can use this method. It just might be different where you place it. So essentially I'm going to be putting this darker color along my forehead, slightly down along into my hair. here, so in front of the top of my ear. Now, for those more mature people who've got more of a gaunt, maybe your face is starting to look a little bit more hollow, then you might want to make this straight, so you're going around straight. If you've got a larger face that you're wanting too slim, then you want this line to maybe work it in like this line with this part of your ear, so you just want to go in a downward slant. Okay, so again, if you're slim and you want to lift, it's going to go about here straight to give width, and if you're trying to create a slim, you're basically going to make this go more on an angle and probably under the cheekbone. Okay, so then you run it along the jawline here. Okay, and then basically this darker shade or this upshading is not only going to give you contour, correction of the face shape, but it's also going to give you this warmth and healthiness to the skin. So it does so many different things, or ticks so many different boxes just by adding this extra product in. I think you'll find too that you don't need to compensate with more eye makeup. You might not feel so washed out. Often a lot of complaints about foundation wearing is that they feel washed out, and you would, because it's going to give you a one-dimensional look, when in fact the face is naturally different colors depending on where the sun and light naturally hits you. So this is what we're doing, is we're just bringing that back, we're upshading it, so you don't need another foundation color, but we're also adding in some warmth, and we're also correcting the face. Now, a little bit at a time. If you've got fair hair, grey hair, my tip is to just grab it like this with your hand and blend up into your hand to avoid it getting into your hair. If you've got dark hair roots like me, sometimes it going into the colour into the hair is good, because it just hides some of those greys. All right, so I'm going to show you, as I said, on one side versus not doing it on one side. So just remember, this is for you, those of you with in-between foundation colours, maybe even worse than what I've put on. This was a pretty good match, to be honest, the light medium for me at the moment. But notice I'm going more sideways because I want lift, and on the ear, I always put a little bit on the ear because our ears are always quite pasty behind the ear, just to bring all the makeup together, especially if you're wearing your hair back along the jaw. So that's not only giving us some really good structure, but if you've got some excess skin here or excess volume, then use this darker product and fill in the whole chin or under the chin area. That anything darker looks smaller. Now, I love to use what's left on the brush just over my crease of my eye. It just gives an instant eyeshadow look. Normally I put a bit of concealer on, but I'm just showing you what this looks like just to up shade it. And basically now what I'm doing is I'm making this seamless. So I'm getting rid of any seams that you would see by just me putting it on. I've waited till I've finished, and then with the remaining product on the brush, not re-dipping, I'm just now going over sort of the edges just to make sure it looks really nice and seamless. Okay, so you'll see if I get myself a book. Oh, so here we've got this side. Still looks good. Could put a bit of blush on and be off, and it's a really nice just everyday makeup. But then you see this side, and it's just got that extra healthy glow to the skin, and I really only need to just put on a little bit of mascara and I'm good to go. So there's my tip on upshading your foundation color if it's a little too light. But also, even if you've got a good foundation color, the bonus of this particular technique, this 3 upshading, is that you get to use a product like a bronzer or a cream contour, anything that's slightly darker. I've used the Contour Compact. Then you just pop it on that 3 method, as I said, and it gives you contouring, it corrects, so lifts or slims, but it gives you that nice, warm, healthy look to the skin as well. Plus, it saved you money from having to buy another foundation color.